This video is brought to you by TS4U IT Engineering Bootcamp. Are you looking for an IT bootcamp? In your journey with TS4U, you will get workshops and tasks every week, hands-on practice, technical tests and tasks, show and tell, mock interview. And we get paid fully only when you get a job. You can get affordable student loan. Become eligible for free tuition. We offer industry-demanding IT boot camps. Join now and start your IT engineering journey today with TS4U.
Hi, Farhaz, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did I say your name correctly? Farhaz, right?
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, this is Farhaz.
Hey, my name is Shiva Mod, so you can call me Shiblu. And so thank you for your time with us. Actually, this interview will be 25 minutes to 30 minutes. It is the initial recruiter, or you can call the account manager interview screening. I have been working with this company last 7 years. My role and responsibility is the recruiting, senior level of recruiting, as well as I make the recommendation for the account manager to move forward for the next technical interview. So this position actually the fully remote. It is one of our best client currently in the state of North Carolina. And according to your resume, I see you are from Michigan. How do you like Michigan? How long have you been in Michigan?
So I have been in Michigan for the last 10 years. I really love it. And this is the first state I came, in Michigan after I moved to USA. And I was never thinking about moving anywhere else because, it just feels like my home country now.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, I am actually from Colorado. It is actually, I like the Colorado spring. It is the winter time is fun. There's a lot of cold, but we are also remote. We have a what is called the shared co-location, but I don't think you need to do anything because it is full-time remote job. So this client is financial company. They are one of our top tier client. We have been working with this client last 10 years. The manager, we have been working, we have a very good relationship. We have actually the 45 the different IT professional in the different team. And the account manager, he has been working with the same manager last 8 years. So everything will be a fun journey. So let's get it started. They're looking for actually DevOps engineer too. They're actually transforming the DevOps culture. So it is aligned with the Agile Scrum they follow and the DevOps culture. And they're looking for someone guiding them, that provide the best practices for the DevOps culture, hit the ground, adapt the process and the procedure, and be the go-to person when it comes to the automated deployment, and then be open to learn the new tools and technology, and take the initiative when the new process will be planning to implement in the team. That's actually some of the information account manager has shared with me. So I'm making sure I'm sharing with you as well. So I looked through your resume, multiple things actually the catch on my eyes are pretty good. So I want to actually talk about those. I'm not super technical, but some of the knowledge I have some answer with me as well. It's a book version, by the way. I'm not the engineer, but since I am interviewing people, so I have some book version answer. So let's get started. So why are you looking for a new job?
Actually, right now I've been working as a DevOps engineer for the Citigroup. So this is a 1-year contract. So my contract is about to expire end of this month. So this is why I'm actively seeking for a new opportunity, and I have been applying in the market.
Sure. So just a silly question. If I reach out to your manager today, and if I ask for the recommendation, what are some good things they will speak about you?
First of all, the manager definitely will talk about my dependency. I am very dependable. They can depend on me for various reasons because I have been working with them for a long time. And they're gonna tell a good thing about I'm a team player. I am always on time. I always finish my task right on time with the high quality. And I can work with like in a cross-functional team, because I was a DevOps engineer. I had to actively work with the development team as well as the QA, sometimes with the QA, and I also worked with the product owner. So this is all about me, and you're gonna get me recommended. Yeah.
Great. So they will definitely miss you. So why they are not extending? Do you guys have any option? Why not they're not extending your contract? Is it like the company or?
So here's the thing, after the pandemic, the companies, they are, very serious about shrinking their budget, even though they wanted to extend the the contract, but they are thinking about freezing any new hire or keeping any new employees. So this is one of the reasons, because recently the First Security Bank, they had collapsed. So since I work for the Citigroup, this is a financial organization, so they're pretty strict, and they're not extending my contract anymore. But I have to get a job, so that's why I'm actively seeking for a job.
Thank you. Okay, good to know. So in the next role, I think I need to mention, so there will be like the 4 round of interviews, or you can call them interviews, or you can call the journey. So one is with me, based on my recommendation. Your second round interview may not happen or may happen for 10 minutes. So it all depends on based on the account manager. But most of the time when I make a recommendation, account manager does not take the interview or does not have a conversation with you. And then there will be 2 technical rounds. One will be 45 minutes with the end client. On that team, there will be like a senior DevOps engineer, the director, and they're like the business side, the project side people. And so that will be in the initial technical, and the final interview will be 1.5 hours. That will be on the Zoom. And in between, after the first round of the interview is done, I think they always give a couple technical tasks to the candidate so they can complete the offline, and they give like a week amount of work once that the task is done. And based on this task, actually the final interview, you go over this task as well as the technical deep dive interview. So are you okay with this, like the large and the long process?
Yeah, this is totally fine with me. I've been working with in my previous company where I was working. I mean, actually, this is my current company. So, I've been working with a bigger group with a bigger task. So I'm pretty comfortable working with those tasks. I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. And then as for your compensation, what is the target? What is the range you're looking for? Or what is your expectation?
So actually, I appreciate your question. So, but I would prefer to discuss about my qualifications and go through over the JDE, the roles and responsibility that I will be fulfilling and working with the team. And after that, if I am a better fit, or if you think if I'm a better fit for this position, and then we can have a conversation about the compensation, which is also negotiable.
Sounds good. So I thank you. I appreciate your the different approach then. So we have a budget of the range for this position. I want to be honest upfront. So the max we go the $85, and then it is started with the 75 hourly. And we have the 401k, and we have the other benefits included. Is this something in your ballpark?
Yeah, this is pretty good. This is a good offer. I would after I complete my after complete our conversation, I think this will be a good a deal for me.
Okay, sounds good. So now let's go. So can you tell me about what do you do in your current project?
So thanks for giving me the chance to talk about my experience and qualification. Currently, I am employed as a DevOps engineer for Citigroup for last 1 year, and my contract is about to expire pretty soon. So as a DevOps engineer, I specialized in implementing and managing infrastructure tools and practices that enables the efficient software development. So my role involves automating and streamlining processes, fostering collaboration between the development and the operation teams, also ensuring the reliability, scalability, and security of the system. So as a big part of my role revolves around managing cloud application, which are on the AWS. I have experience working with AWS services like an EC2, RDS, SQS, SNS, EBS, S3, load balancer, auto scaling, security groups, IAM, as well as EKS, ECR, AMI, and sometimes with the networking configuration within the virtual private cloud. I have also worked on on-premises database, MySQL database, and eventually migrating into the Amazon RDS. Then collaboration and communication are vital parts. So I worked closely with the development team to support continuous integration and delivery pipelines. I embrace agile methodology and leverage tools like Git, Jenkins, and GitLab CI to automate build, test, and deployment process. While I have worked with monolithic application recently, my focus has been on microservices for our cloud-based application. I am skilled in containerization tools like Docker, where I write Docker files and build images based on the project needs. I also use Kubernetes as an orchestration for managing our cluster in the Amazon AWS EKS. This involves writing manifest files, creating pods, namespaces, and setting up services for our microservices. Then I also have experience working with configuration management tools such as Ansible and Chef. I set up Ansible server. I wrote the playbooks, and this is how I worked with that. Shell scripting and Python are some of the scripting languages or programming languages that I have worked with, even though I did not code, but I do have exposure to that. When I had the code, before I deploy it to the cluster, I had to go over it before and then understand how it works. And if I talk about monitoring and logging are very vital to ensure the health and the performance of the system. So I have skilled in setting up and using monitoring tools such as Prometheus, Grafana, and EFK stack. I also have experience working with infrastructure management code. I extensively use Terraform. I leverage Terraform to create infrastructure template to align with our specific requirement. This involves working with providers, defining resources, utilizing modules to ensure efficient and scalable infrastructure provisioning. Those are the things I have worked in my current workplace.
Okay, great. So what about your project? What project did you work? Do you work any specific project, or do you just?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So recently I have worked with the FFM microservice application. So we had to deploy this microservice application in the EKS cluster. We had 5 backends and 1 front end. Basically, I had to first deploy those in my sandbox environment to see if it works. I had continuously communicated with my developer. When the manual deployment was successful, I had to create the pipeline, and then I deployed those, the microservices in the EKS cluster. So that was my last project that I've been working.
Okay, good. So you said, have you deployed the end-to-end the platform yourself, or do you just work with somebody as a team?
I have worked by myself. I'm the only person responsible for deploying this microservice application in the EKS cluster.
Sure. How is the team structured?
So currently we have 4, there are 8 members in our team. We have 4 DevOps engineer, but that specific project I was working by myself.
Okay, so how many developers are you in your team, and how many DevOps and the QA?
So there are probably so we are two DevOps engineer, and we have developers and we have QAs. So there are a total of 8.
Okay. So which stack in your environment? Which software stack do you work mostly?
So I have worked. So for example, I'm going to give you the specific example for our last FFM project. We used Node.js and the Python.
Okay. What about the database?
So the database we use a PostgreSQL.
Okay. So was it in the on the cloud? Everything was on the cloud?
So when I first deployed in the sandbox environment, what I did, I used everything is in the cloud. So the database we use, that's in the EKS cluster. It's in the cloud. AWS, the managed cluster.
Okay, so do you know the difference between the cloud native versus cloud hosting?
So the cloud native, so here's the thing, cloud hosting means, we are deploying the application in the cloud.
Okay, what about the cloud native?
So the cloud native is like, the cloud, they own everything. Like, for example, we can talk about like a Elastic Beanstalk or Lambda that we just upload the code, but we don't provision any servers or anything. So all we do just like provide the code, the cloud people, the service, they do the rest of the thing.
Understood. Okay. So the question is, what is your skills on all the AWS services you mentioned, 1 to 10? 1 is your novice, the 10 you are expert. You can actually break down by the some features, some services you have more experience than the other services. So in general, you mentioned I think 8 to 10 the AWS features, the AWS web services experience. So what is the skills at 1 to 10?
So I would say, since I'm a solution architect associate, I had to study. I work with those in my current workplaces. So I would say it's going to be 6 out of 10.
By the way, congratulations. So when did you obtain your certificate?
I obtained my certificate in last May.
What is the next plan? Are you planning to do more certification?
Yes. So this is why I am applying this job, because, after reading all the description, I thought this is the perfect place to enhance my experience and knowledge. So after working in your company, if I get selected, I have a plan to sit for the AWS Solution Architects professional certification within 6 months, and then I hope I will make it happen. That's my plan is.
So can you please just share some of? I have a couple more questions. Some of the issues you have faced, and how did you actually solve them? It can be in your environment, in any specific the ticket or any deployment issues. It can be anything. Just what type of issues was, how did you debug them, how did you resolve them, what was the outcome?
So we had a lot of issues during the deployment. We had mostly dependency issues because, when the developer, they deployed in their system, it was working fine. But when they upload the code base to the repository, when I pulled in my system, it wasn't working. So I had to figure it out. I had to go through all the steps if I missed anything. So when I checked everything is properly maintained according to the developer, still it wasn't working. Then I had to set up a meeting with the developer, and that's how we found out there's a dependency issues that I had to install in my machine. I also had issues with when I created the Jenkins file. So especially with the last FFM project. So there were like 5 backends and 1 front end. So every repository is separate. So I had to create pipelines for all the repositories. So, and there's a last 7th repository, which is finally after building all the images and pushing it to the Docker Hub, that deployment pipeline actually pulls it and then deploys in the EKS cluster. So I was looking for something such as in GitLab CI, you have a built-in pipeline trigger function, but I was using Jenkins, so there is nothing similar to that. So what I had to do, I had to go to my Jenkins file. Inside the Jenkins file, I had to write a postcode. So what that postcode does, it actually triggers the specific build job after it successfully runs this pipeline. So I had to work a little while to figure this thing out, but I was successfully able to do it.
Sure. So can you tell some of the challenges, the DevOps culture challenges in any environment? Have you faced any of this?
Oh, well, working with cross-functional team was kind of challenging, but it wasn't that bad. So I was successfully managing every team, like working with the QA people, working with the development team. I don't think that was very challenging. But
Okay.
in the technology world, deployment, there's always constantly changing things. Because, for example, if I don't follow the proper instruction, if I don't follow like a version number of the specific tool, that can be causing issues. So I have to be very careful with this thing. I have to be always focused, and this is kind of challenging.
So what is the deployment like the Windows? What is the deployment process in your current project, current company?
So the deployment process is like, you're talking about, can you be a little more specific, the operating system we use, or?
Yeah, like when do you the deploy on the staging, when you deploy on the test environment, and then what is the timeline for the production deployment?
So we have to be very careful about the production deployment. We don't do the production deployment very often. It has to be on the time when the traffic is very low, probably in midnight. But for the testing or the development, we do it pretty frequently, and we set up pipelines for that to automate it. We don't do full automation for the production.
That's nice. So what are some of the things you're very proud, and the team is proud of you contributing as a DevOps engineer in the development team?
So I've been working with them for a while. I am always proactive to learn. I am always eager to help work with the cross-functional team. I put my 100% to attain the target goal. I am never late, and I always try to get the best outcome from using my knowledge and expertise.
Yeah, good. I think I have all the questions I had. What questions do you have for me?
So I do have I do have two questions. So I went to your website and get all the information that I needed to know, like your values, your company cultures. But there's something that I don't know internally. So I would like to know, what's the performance review process like in your organization, or how often will I be formally reviewed if I get into your company?
So we have a yearly, the one time the performance is called the bonus, and the review happens 2 times, but the one-on-one review happens monthly. If you need to improve on something, or if you're working to climb the ladder on something to something, so those are in between the team member and their manager. And then you follow the Agile Scrum, so you will have the meeting with your leader, like bi-weekly. You can talk about the issues you're facing or the areas you're working. And raise is between the 2.5% to 3%, the yearly raise. The bonus is depends on how the company is performing based on the company's like the profits. So these are how the across the aisle we follow here.
Perfect. That sounds good. And I do have one more question, and I promise that's the last one. Could you please tell me a little more about the team that I'll be working with, also the environment?
Yeah. So you will be part of the DevOps and the Cloud Ops team. I think they call the Cloud Ops team. From that team, you will be actually working on the multiple projects. So you'll be working part of it. The one will be the operation team. I think there's some application you'll be supporting the production and operation. And then another will be, you will be part of the development team to deploy from the get-going. You'll be deploying the code as to you build the pipeline, you do the CI/CD. They are using the GitLab CI, which is in your resume. You should not have any problem with that. They're expecting like as soon as possible you join, you actually contribute, like you create the pipeline so that the QA don't need to wait for the manual deployment. And you said I think the deployment happen daily basis in their environment, in the lower environment, and production deployment they do at 10:30 p.m. at the Eastern time, and they do collaborate with the Europe team, also the Asian team as well. So there is a process involved for the release management, and you will just follow the process, then you should be good. They have the Jira and other tools. The tools you don't know, and they get you on the training, and then you'll be shadowing some people, as well as you'll be given the sandbox access permission so that you can be comfortable. You'll be in the development, you'll be working with some developer that you will be actually be responsible for the deploying, as well as you'll be working with the developer and the QA very closely. for your day-to-day work. So the beside the deployment, you will be actually the ensuring some of the testing, the backend testing as well. You'll be kind of the helping the QA as needed, or you both will be actually working developer if you have any questions. Because the QA doesn't have all the access permission. I think that's the current environment is.
Understood. Thanks for your answer, please.
Do you have any other question for me?
No, that's all from me today.
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
You did the most of the answer correctly. The last question I asked, tell me some of the things you're proud, you're accomplished. All are still like you implemented the CI/CD pipeline. That's now I'm asking return of investment. Why team is proud of you? Like when you build the pipeline, it makes life much easier for the developer, for the QA. When you make their life easy, it goes to the production, it goes to the business and operation. So the DevOps engineer make the most powerful contribution. They build the pipeline.
Understood.
Pipeline. Not only then you create the ISC file, and then you actually share with the other DevOps engineer best practices, right? And then of course then you troubleshoot things and you create a documentation so that other DevOps engineer can learn, and so you do not need to reinvent the wheel. So I ask you the question you are proud. So creating documentation right away, understand the process and procedure, creating the pipeline and the peace of mind, and put the QA in charge of their pipeline whenever they want to push it, they can push it to go live, and then push it to like the staging test environment. Make sense? And the creating documentation help the team, and then giving the presentation bi-weekly so that you grow the team member and what is going on. That's the only things you missed it. And the other question is, do not say I want to learn. I want to contribute. I'm not hiring the intern. I would like to contribute based on my current skill set and expertise, as well as I'm open to learn and grow wherever I see the opportunities as for the tools, process, procedure, application, and the internal company culture.
Got it.
Thank you. And
there are so many things I wanted to say, but in the interview, I got so nervous. Like when I think by myself, alone, I think like, okay, I'm gonna talk about so many things. I can tell so many stuff. But again,
you did very good job. Congratulations. You can go to the job market.
Thank you.